Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street centers around the rise and fall of stockbroking titan Jordan Belfort. Even though a 3-hour movie can drag, every single frame is meticulously crafted by the visionary director. In fact, Scorsese inserted so much in each shot, most viewers don't notice the subtle details layered throughout the movie. So with that in mind, I'm Ellie with What Culture here with 20 things you somehow missed in The Wolf of Wall Street. Number 20. It doesn't show the stock trades correctly. Now, because this film revolves around the fallout of the Wall Street crash, you'd naturally assume Martin Scorsese triple-checked everything to ensure every single detail was as accurate as possible. But The Wolf of Wall Street doesn't accurately depict one simple thing about the stock exchange: the stock exchange itself. When we see Jordan on his first day in Wall Street, there is a screen in the background displaying stock trades in dollars and cents. These numbers are shown in decimals, so they appear as 3.50 or 1.20. But during the time period, these stocks were displayed in fractions, so they look like 2.5 or 9 2/3. Because Scorsese is such a stickler for detail, it's possible he intentionally depicted the stock trades like this so it's slightly easier for viewers to understand them. Number 19. The continuity intentionally sucks. No matter how talented a director is, even the best films tend to be littered with mild continuity errors and production goofs. Let us never forget about the car that appeared in Braveheart. But for The Wolf of Wall Street, Martin Scorsese intentionally included editing inconsistencies to highlight how confused the drug-addicted characters are. For example, we see Brad take Jordan's pen in the diner scene, but in the next shot we see Brad take the pen again. In the scene where Teresa catches her husband in the car with Naomi, she slams the door. Moments later, she slams the door again, which has magically reopened, and once you notice it, you can never unsee it. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Scorsese used this technique. In Shutter Island, which also starred Leonardo DiCaprio, he embraced continuity errors to emphasize the main character's paranoia. Number 18. Belfort takes a drug that didn't exist yet. In Jordan Belfort's opening monologue, he speaks to the audience about the absurd amount of drugs he takes on a daily basis. He brags how he consumes Adderall, Xanax, pot, cocaine, morphine, and 10 Quaaludes every single day. Because the audience will be so overwhelmed by the amount of drugs Belfort admits to taking, it's easy to miss one tiny detail. Adderall wasn't available to purchase until 1996, which was 7 years after Jordan set up his company and 4 years after he was indicted. Considering Adderall is used to treat narcolepsy and attention deficit hyperactive disorder, it's a bit bewildering why Jordan was taking this drug in the first place. Number 17. CGI you missed. Martin Scorsese is often seen as an old-school director that would only use computer-generated effects if it was absolutely necessary. But in recent years, the Oscar-winning director has embraced visual effects more and more, sliding CGI into many of his latest films. Although viewers criticize unnecessary visual effects, it is so seamless in The Wolf of Wall Street it's impossible to notice it. The final shot of Jordan Belfort playing on a tennis court in prison may look genuine, but it's actually multiple shots stitched together. When Jordan shows the money in the briefcase to the corrupt Swiss banker Sorel, everything outside the window is green screened. The scene where Jordan and Naomi walk to their yacht in Italy looks genuine but was filmed in a studio. These scenes could have been done for real, but the CGI is so convincing, it's easier and cheaper to rely on visual effects. Number 16. Yes, that goldfish was real. When Donnie sees one of his co-workers, credited as broker wearing bow tie, cleaning his goldfish bowl instead of making deals, he humiliates bow tie in front of everyone by eating the goldfish. Even though the little fishy looks real, a lot of viewers assume it's CGI or an animatronic. After all, if an actor swallowed an animal for a scene, animal rights organizations would have a field day. However, that is a real fish the actor Jonah Hill put in his mouth. Apparently, the Oscar-nominated performer wanted to swallow the fish in the scene for the sake of authenticity, but Peter wouldn't let him. Instead, Hill placed the fish in his mouth for 3 seconds and then spat it into the bowl of water after the director yelled cut. Number 15. The drugs are actually vitamin B tablets. When characters are snorting cocaine in a movie, the actors are usually ingesting a combination of powdered milk and baking soda. Because this concoction doesn't look convincing up close, films like Scarface tend to only show the drug from a distance. But since Martin Scorsese wanted to use as many close-ups of cocaine as possible in The Wolf of Wall Street, he had to find a different material to substitute for it. In the end, he opted to use inositol, a sugar vitamin that can be found in mammals' kidneys and brains, including humans. However, that's not suggesting inositol xylitol has no effect when ingested, the actors noticed that they did receive a kick when they snorted it, although they didn't receive a reaction on the same level as cocaine. Number 14. That private investigator looks familiar. To avoid being caught out by the FBI, Jordan Belfort hires a former police officer called Bo Dietl to serve as his private investigator. Although several of the characters were invented for the film, Bo Dietl was a real person who served as Belfort's head of security and his personal PI for several years. And who did they get to play Bo Dietl? Weirdly, the character is portrayed by Bo Dietl. Not only that, this isn't the only time he's worked on a Martin Scorsese project. He worked as a cop in Goodfellas and a mob boss in The Irishman. Considering he's not viewed in a nice light in the film, it's crazy Scorsese convinced Dietl to accept the role. Number 13. Jon Bernthal's punch to Jonah Hill was real. After Donnie disrespects Brad's wife, the two get into a heated argument, concluding with Brad knocking Donnie to the ground with one clean right hook. While filming, the actor depicting Brad, Jon Bernthal, threw a fake punch at his co-star Jonah Hill, which Martin Scorsese was unsatisfied with. After several takes, the director told the actor to thump Hill for real. Considering Bernthal boxes in his spare time, Hill was terrified of being pummeled in the face. But after they filmed the shot, Hill admitted it was one of his favourite scenes he ever acted in. However, the shot cuts immediately after Bernthal belts his co-star, since Hill's prosthetic teeth got knocked out of his mouth. Number 12. There's even more swearing than you remember. For as long as anyone could recall, cursing has been a staple in Martin Scorsese pictures. For a time, Goodfellas was the sweariest movie ever made, with 300 expletives used throughout. However, The Wolf of Wall Street was over double that. The film boasts 681 curses, including 569 F-bombs or variations of the F-word. With a runtime of 180 minutes, that means there's a swear word every 17 seconds or so. This made The Wolf of Wall Street the new sweariest movie until SwearNet stole the crown the following year. Although a lot of these curses are from Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Jonah Hill gets special mention since his appearance in The Wolf of Wall Street earned him the title of the sweariest actor in film history, just barely beating Samuel L. Jackson. His parents must be so proud. Number 11. No, that's not Jonah Hill's Ding Dong. When Donnie meets Jordan Belfort's future wife Naomi, he is so overwhelmed by her beauty, he immediately starts jerking off despite the fact he is in the middle of a party. For the record, none of the other extras knew Hill was going to do this, so their reactions of horror are genuine. Because you only see Donnie's penis for a second, viewers have speculated for years whether it was real or not. Considering Jonah Hill fully embraced the over-the-top antics of Donnie and the film has a lot of full frontal nudity, it's not hard to believe the actor actually whipped his dong out for this shot. It may look pretty convincing, but Donnie's todger in the scene is nothing more than a prosthetic. Number 10. Driving a car that doesn't exist. In the opening scene, Jordan narrates how he drove a Testarossa Ferrari while he was a stockbroker. As we see a shot of him riding a red Ferrari, he comments that the car was actually white, not red. Because Jordan points out this little mistake, most viewers don't notice another error in this shot. Although this moment takes place in 1984, the model of car he's driving wasn't manufactured until 1992. This is such a minor mistake, almost nobody would notice. But that's not the only flub involving this vehicle. In the scene where Jordan goes to Naomi's home, he's driving the Testarossa model from 1982. So not only does Jordan's automobile switch models, one of the models didn't exist in the time period the film is based in. Number 9. Scorsese cheated for one shot. Martin Scorsese may be a revolutionary filmmaker for the last 50 years, but that doesn't mean he is infallible. After filming the airplane scene, the director realised he forgot to insert a shot that displayed the fasten your seatbelt sign. At first, Scorsese worried he would have to rebuild the plane set for a 2-second shot for the sake of continuity. Luckily, one of his supervisors convinced him to use a clip from a flight safety video. When Scorsese saw the clip on his colleague's iPhone, he said it was fine, and so used that instead. It is the first time Scorsese ever used footage from an iPhone for one of his movies. Number 8. The real Jordan Belfort. Nobody is going to question that The Wolf of Wall Street depicts Jordan Belfort in a bad light. As you watch him having multiple affairs, punch his wife in the stomach, and con thousands of people out of their hard-earned cash, it's hard to think of a more despicable character. Because Leonardo DiCaprio's character comes across as such an irredeemable scumbag, you would assume the real Jordan Belfort would want nothing to do with the movie. On the contrary, Martin Scorsese managed to convince Belfort to perform a cameo. When Leonardo DiCaprio's character arrives for the motivational speaking seminar, he is introduced by Jordan Belfort himself. Number 7. One of the lines is taken directly from Heat. After Naomi hears Jordan murmuring Venice in his sleep, she throws water in his face and accuses him of cheating on her. When she asks who he is having sex with, Jordan shouts, "Who? Who? Who?" Naomi retorts by saying, Who, what are you, an effing owl?" If this hilarious line sounds familiar, that's because it's a direct quote from Michael Mann's masterpiece Heat. While Al Pacino's character Vincent Hanna is in an interrogation, Vincent drops a name to see how the perp reacts. When Alan plays dumb by asking who, Pacino's character says, Who, what are you, an effing owl? Number 6. References to the film crew. If the film crew are going to sneak in a few in-jokes into the production, they might as well chuck in a couple of references to themselves. At the strip mall, there is a sign that reads Robert Mancuso Accounting, which is a nod to the production's camera assistant Bobby Mancuso. But that's not the only wink to the film crew. While Jordan Belfort is being questioned by the FBI on his yacht, he gives one of the agents a list of the people attending his wedding to Naomi. Nothing seems out of the ordinary at a glance, but the listed names actually belong to the people who are working on the film. Kelly Cribbin was the post-production supervisor, Daniel Fine was the second assistant accountant, and Wade Sullivan was in charge of costumes. It's a small detail, but the filmmakers probably had a laugh inserting their employees' names into the film. Number 5. Sharon Jones sings Goldfinger. There are so many things going on at Jordan and Naomi's wedding, it's difficult to pick up on everything. However, if you listen to the wedding singer, you can hear her playing the classic James Bond theme, Goldfinger. This is a reference to how the Bond theme from The Spy Who Loved Me, Nobody Does It Better, was played at Jordan Belfort's actual wedding. But this isn't the only bit of trivia that viewers miss during the scene. Because the musician is only in one clear shot, few people realise that it's played by Grammy nominee and funk singer Sharon Jones. But unfortunately, she died in 2016 from bile duct cancer, making The Wolf of Wall Street her last film appearance ever, and sadly most people didn't notice her. Number 4. Gooble Gobble. When Jordan and Donnie are talking about hiring dwarves for entertainment, they become concerned about the possibility they might get sued if the dwarves get hurt. Jordan tells his employees to treat the dwarves as one of their own, which inspires everyone in the room to chant, one of us, Gooble Gobble." This is a direct quote from the 1932 film Freaks, where many of the main characters have dwarfism. However, there is another connection to that horror flick which most people miss. In Freaks, Olga Baklanova portrays the trapeze artist Cleopatra. In 1929, Baklanova was in a film which revolves around a heartless stockbroker that bankrupts his friends while living off get-rich-quick schemes. And what was that film called? The Wolf of Wall Street. Number 3. Martin Scorsese cameos. Martin Scorsese tends to cameo in his own films, usually in a blink-and-you'll-miss-it role. Many viewers didn't notice him as the TV director in The King of Comedy, the photographer in The Age of Innocence, or the projectionist in The Aviator. But even if you analyse every frame in The Wolf of Wall Street, it's easy to miss the acclaimed director. He's in there though, just not physically. Scorsese provides the voice of John, the first client that Jordan Belfort speaks to while selling penny stocks in Long Island. Because John's voice is muffled, it's difficult to hear what he's saying exactly, but if you concentrate, you should be able to recognise Scorsese's distinctive Queen's accent. Number 2. The camera lens. When Jordan Belfort and his companions are getting high or acting erratic, the scenes can switch from slow motion to super speed in a few seconds to highlight the character's disorientation. Major close-ups and erratic pacing also help the viewers get into the heads of Jordan's posse. But the photography director Rodrigo Prieto took this concept to a whole new level. Prieto constantly kept switching camera lens so the audience knows what state of mind Jordan has in any given scene. When he's stable, a flat spherical lens is used. When Jordan is under the influence, anamorphic lenses are utilised. When he is being chased, Prieto normally uses longer focal lenses to highlight his paranoia. Few people will notice this, but anyone who did will appreciate this attention to detail. Number 1. Dog food on Leonardo DiCaprio's feet. While Naomi and Jordan are having sex, you probably didn't notice that the soles of Leonardo DiCaprio's feet are wet. Most viewers are distracted by all the nudity. But why is this? During the scene, Naomi's dog Rocky leaps on the bed and begins licking Jordan's feet. During filming, Martin Scorsese had difficulty encouraging the canine to hop onto the bed. Obviously, this was an incredibly important shot. The film would never work without it, so Scorsese refused to cut it. Instead, he put chicken liver and dog food in between DiCaprio's toes to encourage the little mutt to leap onto the bed. It worked perfectly, allowing Scorsese to keep this very, very, very crucial moment in the film. And that concludes our list. If you think we missed anything, then do let us know in the comments below. And while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe and tap that notification bell so you never miss a What Culture video. Also, head over to Twitter and follow us there, and I can be found across various social medias just by searching Ellie Littlechild. I've been Ellie with What Culture. I hope you have a magical day, and I'll see you real soon.